conversation. Okay, yeah, good. Go live. Okay, how do I do this? Hang on. Okay, more.
I'll check on LinkedIn if it's going live because I usually get a.
Don't worry, you can go up to 2 hours. Okay. Oh, come on. Past scheduled time. Okay, wait. How do I do this? It is so frustrating. I'm like, really? Like, are we doing this for real?
It's so annoying. It's super
annoying. I'm like, really? Like, I'm like navigating, and they're like, I'm in the live studio, and it's like, prepare to go live, and then it's like, you're late. I'm like, I realize that. How do I actually start it? Past scheduled time. Okay, that's fantastic. But like, you know what? I would love to just like,
right. Like, how do you actually connect?
how do you actually do it? Okay. I know I spent so much time on this yesterday. I don't know why it's being so dumb. Okay, let me see how I can do here. I know the recording playback's just going to be like yelling at LinkedIn, be like,
story of probably both of our lives.
no, just like that's like half my day is just like yelling at LinkedIn for things. Like, okay, we go. Let's just go to the event page. Let's see if this does something. Okay, how do I? It says upcoming. How do I like? Okay, yes, I get it. I'm here. How do I? I'm so sorry. Manage
No, it's fine.
Edit event. We're all gonna like learn something today.
Yeah.
How not to do this. Learn how to go. How is this so complicated? Like, come on. I don't want to read a tutorial. No, I just want a button that says go live today. Yes. Okay. Yes. Oh my God. This is so dumb. Edit, cancel, delete. No. Share. No. View as member. No. Live studio. LinkedIn, if you're listening to this, we need you to fix this.
I wonder. I don't know. Like, it says like tap to join. Should I like just see? Should I see?
You can try. Yeah.
No, it just says wait for the host to start.
Oh, damn it. Why? I like did so much prep yesterday. So stupid. Why is this so complicated? Oh my god, this is so dumb.
Do you want to just do it on LinkedIn Live? Like, whatever.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Like, oh, you mean like do it there?
Say like just go over to LinkedIn. Like, I don't.
Oh, is that a thing? I don't even know. Is that?
I thought it was, but maybe I'm wrong. 1 second.
I don't know. Oh my god. I just want to like start the event. It's like not that complicated. Oh my god. This has happened every time. Like, I don't know. Okay. Show analytics. No. I'm the admin. Let me do this. Let me start. This is so dumb.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never like. How do you usually do it?
I've never been able to make it work. So I think we're just gonna forget.
You just record and then you post it after.
Yeah.
Oh, so we could just do that. I mean,
I guess so, but I had like guests coming.
I know.
Anyway, whatever. Okay. I'm going to send this Riverside link and just forget it. It's so, I don't know. It's so frustrating. Okay, so this is working. Now, how do I invite? My goodness. I was prepared, I swear.
It's all good. I like at this point I've recorded I think something, I don't know, of my own podcast, like 80 episodes, and so I am well versed in all the problems that can happen. So
God. Anyway, I don't know. I really don't know why this is not working. Anyway, never mind. Okay, let's just get started. whatever. Okay. Ready?
Ready.
Awesome. Oh my God, Rachel, you and I have known each other for a while. We have been definitely in each other's lives through many ups and many downs. And I am just so excited. When I was thinking about the topic of trauma and healing and values led leadership and overcoming challenges and like facing demons, and like you're someone who so openly writes about that and shares about that, and you're a female founder and you have a strong religious background and you have had a lot of personal challenges, but you show up bright and shiny and empowering and inspiring, and it's just, you're like such a legend to me. And so when I thought about who I want to have on the podcast, I'm like, oh my God, there is like, hands down, I want Rachel on the podcast. And because what I am obsessed with, as you know, as like having been in the agency world for now 11 years, me coming back from the cancer journey, my team and my manager telling me she doesn't need me anymore. And I was then had the freedom to like start leaning into my passion project, which is mental health, trauma healing, root cause healing for female founders, and kind of quote unquote like healing those blocks that get in the way of our goals that we don't even know are there. I just feel it's such an important message because I feel like so many women in business, and I don't know if you agree with this, but the message is generally tactics and sales strategy and pricing or building your team or like marketing. And it's like, but it doesn't really consider in a lot of conversations that inner game piece, right? Like that, like, okay, I hate the term self-sabotage, but I hate it so much. But that idea of we are our own worst enemy, right? Like we don't achieve what we want because it's our stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So I just can't wait to talk to you about that. So I'm just going to quickly let me just introduce you to the crew, and then we'll get started. So Rachel Honeyman is the founder of Honey Be Bold, a marketing agency that amplifies the impact of purpose-driven female founders through bold, human, I want to say the full thing, AF leader branding, websites, and content. She supports women at every stage of business with done for you and done with you options, meeting women on a mission exactly where they are. Oh my God, I love that so much. So tell me, like, I remember when you and I first connected, you were like kind of in this crossroad of, you were like, do I shut it down or do I just like lay on the gas and fix it? And so when you started, tell us about that. Like, tell us about your starting story. Like, grief, things were going on, like take us through it.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, I kind of have to back up. My husband and I went through over 5 years of infertility treatments, surgeries, IVF, miscarriages, everything you can imagine. And at every step along the way, my mental health was just eroded further and further and further. And when it became very clear, about almost exactly 4 years ago, we got confirmation from our doctor, like, this is not happening. There's no possibility in the universe that this is going to happen. We had problems on both sides there, and it just wasn't happening. We decided to officially stop our journey toward becoming parents. It was a very, very hard decision, very conscious decision, and very much led by, both for me and my husband, like this acknowledgement that like my mental health and therefore my life was really at risk if we continued down any other path. And we made that decision, and I wound up going into the deepest, darkest place I have ever been in. And I've struggled with depression on and off for my whole life. I remember using that term first when I was 13, but it might have started even earlier than that. But I go through depressive episodes, and I'm no stranger to that. But the place that I was in after coming to this decision, which was the right decision, it was the only possible decision for us. Even though it was right, it still had this tremendous it was just this tremendous loss, and I had so much grief, and I just felt like I had lost myself, like I'd lost this part of myself and like this dream. And as a type A perfectionist that I'm sure many people listening can relate to, like the idea of putting effort into something and not achieving it is like, oh my God. Like I felt like a failure, even though it doesn't logically make sense. Like it brought up all of those feelings. And so I was just in the worst possible place, like deeply suicidal. I didn't want to live. My 35th birthday um, happened around this time, and my husband like tried to throw a party for me, and I was like, no, like I don't want to celebrate being alive. Like this isn't what I wanted my life to look like at 35. And so that's kind of the place that I was in, and that's exactly when I started my business. So my birthday is in October. That's when that happened. And end of November is when I started my business, when I officially went out on my own. So really like started in the depths of it. And I started it really for a lot of reasons, you know, and it was something that I'd had in mind for a long time. But at that moment, I felt like if I don't do this, like if I don't give myself a lifeline that is going to give me some meaning, like I don't know that I will make it to 36.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That's so brave, like to throw yourself into something else, like from that place. Like, so what do you think, like the role of fear, facing our fears, plays in the experience of entrepreneurship?
I think every part of entrepreneurship is scary as shit. I hope I can
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
I
Oh
can
my
curse.
gosh. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I think every part of it is scary. It's like you're responsible for everything. The buck stops with you. If you have a team, like you're responsible for other people. Even if you don't have a team, if you're a solopreneur, like there's no stability in it. There's no stability. One decision could tank the whole thing, right? Like every part of it is scary. And so I feel like with entrepreneurship, it's this constant need to face your fears and just do the hard thing. Like every single day, I would say like a dozen times a day, I'm making these little decisions that if I stop and think about it, I'm like, oh shit, like what implications could this have? And how terrifying. Like it's all terrifying.
I know,
Um
right?
it's yeah. But I think that that's actually the what's beautiful about it is like the flip side of it is that if you don't do that and whether you're an entrepreneur or not, but if you don't like face your fears and do things that are out of your comfort zone, you're gonna live a very small life. And you there are limits to how much you can grow as a human. Like you
Yeah.
cannot growth really does come from that place of struggle. Like that's just the reality.
Yeah. Because for you, like, what do you find are the things about entrepreneurship that are the most fear-inducing to you?
For me, I would say that it is that feeling of responsibility to my team. Um, I like I really have been very intentional about how I build my team. And I just have to say thank you for that very kind intro. I have to say that I've said this to people who like we know in common because we know a lot of people in common. I'm like,
Yeah.
I often say like I wish I had a bracelet that said like what would Natasha do, because like I I have that in my head so often
Oh
when
my
I'm like
god.
making decisions in my business, because you're just like such a badass with everything that
Oh
you
my
do.
god. You're too kind.
Um, but I think that that's really the piece that weighs on me the most is like if things are not going the way that I want them to, and like business isn't growing how I want it to grow, like my first thought is like I I have responsibility to my team. And like
Yeah.
yes, of course I want to make as much money as I want to make, right? But
Yeah.
I really want to be able to pay my people what they deserve.
Yeah.
And when I can't do that, it tears me up. It really tears me up.
Yeah. Oh, I totally get it. I totally get that. Yeah, there's seasons where things are great, everything is rolling, and everyone's paid. And then there's seasons when it's not quite as easy. And you know that they've got bills to pay. And yeah, it is so hard. It is so hard, especially when you love your team, right? Like you love them, you want to take care of them, you want to show up for them, and it's all on you, right? And it's hard, and especially if you go through seasons, like you said, if you're not feeling well or you're like feeling depressed or you're feeling, and you still have to show up, like that's so hard.
Yeah.
So I think an important question, and I know this is something that I work on a lot personally, is like really coming from a place of living from a place more of my values than my fears driving. So, what does that mean to you? So, like internal values-led fears versus fears that come from like external societal expectations.
Yeah, I think this is where it gets really fun actually because it comes down to like really honing in on what's important to you
Mhm,
and what is really really driving you. And I think that so many people are so out of touch with that, and they've never really taken the time to evaluate like what is really important to me,
mhm,
what are my values, what are the things that are the non-negotiables. And like I will not negotiate on this because this is core to
mhm,
who I am. And so many people just like never go through that process.
mhm,
But when you have gone through that process and you're really clear on who you are, and this is like a big part of the work that I do with my clients is like always starting with that like
mhm,
values led, like really getting underneath it,
mhm,
and going through that process. And when you're clear on that, when you're facing fears, because like you're going to be facing scary shit all the time,
mhm,
you're better able to evaluate like how do I face this from my own values versus like is this fear actually coming from external societal expectations, right? Like what are the things that are being kind of put on me versus coming from within me? And even the ones that are coming from within me, like where is that really coming from? Like what's really driving
mhm,
that? Um, and then I think that just makes it a lot easier to make those scary decisions and like to keep going because it's not it's not just to like check someone else's box, right? It's
mhm,
really like there's no other option, right? Like there's the decision that is in line with my values and then there's the
mhm,
decision that is not in line with my values, and I
mhm,
know what my values are, so like I'm going to go in that direction. And
mhm,
it's hard, like it's not it doesn't make it easy because like these decisions can be really hard, but I think
mhm.
that it just makes it a lot it feels better. It feels a lot better.
So, can you give me a couple examples of what that looks like in real life?
Yeah, so I think that one really good example is like if you have someone comes to you and they are interested in hiring you, and you're in a place in your business where you feel like you don't have the you can't afford to say no, right? You're in that zone.
Mhm,
And that's a really dangerous zone. Like it's a really dangerous zone, and it's when we start making decisions that really go against our values.
mm,
And it's the sort of thing where you could tell, and I've had situations like this where I'm just not sure that this is the right fit. Like what they're
yeah.
looking for is maybe something that it's not my zone of genius. Like it's not the thing that I'm going to be best at,
Mhm,
or it just doesn't feel aligned, this client doesn't feel aligned, like all of that. And if I asked someone external who has no real like knowledge of the situation,
mhm,
and like maybe they know something about business or whatever, like they might say like, well, if your business is in a place where you can't afford to say no, then like you got to take it on and like you'll figure it out, and like just take on the
mhm,
business. And I have turned away business, um, because of that feeling where I'm like,
Yeah.
I know this is wrong. Um, I often go to my husband. You heard me and my husband on I
Yeah.
brought him on my podcast. We talked a lot
Oh,
about
good.
this, like kind of building our values. And like he's often the person that I go to where I'm like, I need that gut check. Like I need to like I feel unsure about this. And he almost always is like, you know the answer. Like you know the answer before you came to me.
Thanks for nothing.
Um yeah, yeah. And I think that but I think that that's a really it's a really common example. Like everyone is going to face those situations,
Mhm.
and you have to make a judgment call, but you have to like really understand like what
Mhm.
is aligned with your values and what's not.
Mhm. What do you think is another, like, in the entrepreneurship world, like, what else do you think is another, like, societal expectation that is really common, let's say for women specifically?
Mhm. Well, I think that one of the things that winds up, and we were talking about this kind of offline before, but I think one of the problems that a lot of women run into is that we are kind of expected on a societal level to operate our businesses the way that men do.
Hmm.
And so there's this expectation that you're going to, sell a certain way and market a certain way and treat your clients a certain way. And I'm not like bashing like men at
Yeah.
all, but I do think that there is a very different like female energy versus male energy in how we run our businesses in a very in a way that like respects who we are at our core. And there are a lot of these kind of like sales tactics that are sold as being like the be all and end all. And I speak to a lot of women who feel like they need to do that because that's what works. And in reality, like I don't know that that actually works first of all, definitely doesn't work all the time, but like I
Yeah.
think that for a lot of women, the kind of like broy tactics like just aren't going to be aligned with your values,
Yeah.
and it's not going to lead to the type of business that you actually want to build and
Mhm.
that you feel good about, and like the clients that you want to work with and all of that. And so I think that that's a really common one that I see a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah. That's interesting because, like, when you work with your clients, like, I know when you do like your content hubs and like, or your cohorts, and like, you're so good at helping women like find their voice and bring their real self out. Like, that's the one thing I just like aspire to be like you. Like, honestly, if I wish I had a bracelet that was like, what would Rachel do? But it's like, because like you're just so bright and you bring so much energy, and you like the colors and the way that you do your branding and the feathers and like the hats, and like you're just such like, it's like you can't miss you. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't, your eye cannot look away like when they see like a post from like Honey Be Bold, right? And in your experience working with other women, like you and I work with women, you work with women, like where do you notice some of the biggest concerns that come up? Like where else, other than like clients and choosing clients, like where else do you feel women feel like, whether it comes from bro culture, whether it comes from wherever, like where else do you feel like women get stuck, like with fears? Like what are some other big fears that you notice?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you just nailed it on the head with like talking about kind of the marketing and branding side of things and the like showing up as your full self. Like that is, I think, the piece that I mean, all the women that I work with struggle with that. Like if they didn't, they probably wouldn't come to me.
Yeah.
But I think that it's just so ubiquitous that women just as a whole, like obviously generalizations, but like
Mhm.
we were really told from society to like tamp down, right? Like
Yeah.
just quiet it down. Like don't
Yeah.
be so much.
Mhm.
And so there's just a lot of fear around like showing up. And when I can show my clients and my students in the cohorts that I run, when I can show them that like actually when you lean into who you are, first of all, it's so freeing. Like it's
Mhm.
so freeing when you can do that and
Mhm.
like just feel like yourself and like you're not masking. Like it's really exhausting to mask all the
So,
time.
yeah.
So exhausting. So it just kind of like relieves that pressure, but it also just opens the door for the people who you actually want to work with and the people that you actually want to attract to find you and to, like I and thank you for saying that about my branding, but like it's very intentional. Like I
Yeah.
want people to see me and like know who I am, and like the people who get it and the people who
Yeah.
don't. And like I don't want the people who don't get it. But if I didn't show up as my like
Mhm.
full like in your face like this is me, this is Rachel, like take it or leave it. If I
Yeah.
didn't show up as that, like the people who are drawn to me like would never come to me because they wouldn't know that I exist. And so
Yeah.
I think that that's a huge one where I just see like women quieting their voices or like just feeling like, even the very idea of like showing up on camera, like it's really scary for
Yeah.
people, and I get it. I get it. It's so scary. But like once you do it, it's like ripping off a band-aid, and like who cares? Like you be yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. Like I feel like that as well. Like I spent my whole life not being able to create content. Like, and it wasn't until like from my story, it was definitely not like the ripping off the band-aid. I mean, the ripping off the band-aid, I guess, was like going to therapy and figure out why I was so scared, right? Like I know you and I both talk like very openly about like mental health and therapy and resources and things like that. So it's like, so when you are working, so if I can ask, like this isn't being streamed at this point now, but like how do you feel like mental health practices, like whether it's therapy or fitness or whatever it is, like how do you feel like mental health, where has it where have you what am I trying to ask you, like what mental health practices have you are your go-to's like in your for you, and what do you feel are like, what how would you describe for you the importance of mental health like as a female founder?
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's super, super important. Obviously, that's an understatement. I will be super honest that at the moment I am like very much neglecting this because I'm in this like very busy season in my business, like
Yeah.
which is great, but like I'm in the last week or so especially, I'm noticing that like, oh, I've neglected this and I need to get back to it. And
Mm,
I think that is probably like the most important thing is just like paying attention. Like
yeah.
pay attention when things are starting to like not feel right or like things are just kind of slipping in. For me, everyone has to find their own toolbox, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has to find their own toolbox. I've spoken about this before. I'll just mention it briefly because we could probably do a whole like episode about this. What I have used to manage my depression, because I have since that episode where I was like deeply suicidal, like what pulled me out of it was a treatment called TMS, transcranial
Mm,
magnetic stimulation, which
mm,
is FDA approved for treatment resistant depression. And basically, you have to demonstrate that you have tried a million different drugs and they haven't worked and all of that. And you're not in the US. In the US, like insurance is just a nightmare. So
yeah.
um, that piece of it sucks. But the treatment itself, it's basically just like a strong magnet tapping very hard on the skull, and it's stimulating a particular part of the brain. And I
Interesting.
can't totally tell you why it works, but it just it works really, really well. And I've done it
Mm,
4 times now, and it's it has saved my life. Two
oh
of
my
for
God.
sure, 2 of those times it saved my life. Like the other times, I think I was just like in a depressive episode, not feeling too
Yeah.
great, and it helped pull me out of that. But 2 of those
Yeah.
times, it was like truly life saving.
Yeah. Cause I just think like fear, like I know I've been an entrepreneur my entire life, like entire adult life. And everyone I talk to, all my friends, all my colleagues, all my peers, we're all female founders, like all of us. I don't think I know anybody who has a job like in my peer group. And it's like one of the biggest things I feel with fear, like that external fear, societal fear, like that pressure to perform, like all of these things. And like, I feel like so many women don't recognize that the fear comes from somewhere, right?
Mhm.
Like the fear isn't just like you're not it's not that you're always like you're scared, or it's not like how do I describe what I'm trying to say? It's like the fear has a root cause somewhere. Like I know I mentioned this already, and I write about this sometimes on LinkedIn, but people who know me, like, or they think I'm an extrovert. They think I'm like brave and bold and all these things. And I'm like, I'm 45 now. It wasn't until 44 that I literally could not create content like online. Like I would hire coaches, and one of them actually gave me my money back because she's like, "You suck. Like I can't even work with you." Like this was no joke. This was like 2 years ago, and she's like, "You're not ready. Like I can't work with you." Like she
Yeah.
literally gave me my money back, and I was like, "Okay." And so I was working with a therapist, and my fear of like creating the content, I was like physically ill, just the idea of showing up online. And I remember like doing a bunch of therapy with that. And like it came back to like, okay, I grew up with a bipolar parent. So the MO to get through the day is you just shut up, you keep the peace, and you just don't ruffle anybody's feathers, right? You're just like, just shut up. Like, don't say anything that's going to piss anybody off. And so once you kind of identify the source of the fear, and then once I recognized, okay, wait a second, I haven't seen my dad in like 25 years. Like, why would this still be bugging me? Like, and all these things, and you can kind of let that go. I feel for so many women, like we have so many fears that we never really stop to investigate, right? And I don't know if you can identify with that, but like I just feel a lot of women, they like blame themselves for I'm not good at this, or I can't do this, or I'm like just bad at that. And you're like, like not true. Like in my opinion, like not true. Like it comes
Mhm.
from somewhere. Um, and they
Yeah.
just like I remember there was this book, and I talk about this all the time, but there was this book that was all about like female success and self-sabotage. And I remember I'm like, someone recommended it to me, and I started reading it. And even the introduction, I just like threw the book across the room. I'm like, this is like total bullshit. I'm like, I can't even like, and some people know what book I'm talking about, and I'm not going to say it, but like, I just like literally, I love the author. I thought it was such a good, like the premise was so good, but I'm like, I just can't even like for me to say, like someone told me one time, they're like, self-sabotage implies intent. And I don't know in
Mm.
your experience, but your experience as a female, your experience working with women, like, would you agree with that? That like so much fear and quote unquote sabotage is like unintentional, unconscious.
Yeah.
What's your take?
I totally agree with all of that. I think that we have so many hard coded messages from childhood. Like everyone does. Like even people who had happy childhoods, like you came away with some scars because like
Yeah,
that's what it is. Like my husband actually always says like you spend the first 20 years of your life, you know, getting problems, and then you spend the rest of your life trying to overcome them.
100%.
And that's absolutely true. And like I think that I hear that a lot, like the I'm just bad at marketing, I'm bad at social media, I'm right. And I always push back. I'm like, there's there's a mindset piece there that is coming from somewhere much, much deeper.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know what that deeper thing is, and that's when like therapy can be really, really, really helpful to get underneath that. But we have these like internal messages. I mean, I will tell you, like I grew up with two very, very prominent, powerful messages that even
Mhm.
though I know that they're not true, I'm probably going to be working past them for the rest of my life. And they were that I'm not smart and I'm not funny. And like
Yeah.
bullshit. It's bullshit.
You're so
And
funny. You
and
know
like
that. Oh my
like
God.
I'm like, I'm a delight. I'm a fucking
You
delight. Okay.
are
So,
so
you know,
right.
um, so I think that we don't, and those messages weren't necessarily said explicitly, but they were the messages that I came away from childhood with. And it took a lot of work and a lot of therapy to get to the point where I'm like, I can show up and be myself, and I can own like the gifts that I know that I have, and that I I get feedback, right? Like you also have to look at feedback. That's actually one of the things that I look at all the time is like when people say I'm just bad at whatever, the first question I ask is like, do you actually have enough evidence to prove
Exactly.
that?
Where's the data for that? Yeah.
Yeah. And people say like, I'll pick on the marketing one in particular. They're like, kind of like what you're saying, like, I just no, yeah, I do. Of course I do. Like I have paid for all these courses and I haven't been able to do it. And this coach, whatever, right? My answer is like, no, you actually haven't built a system that works with who you are
100%.
clearly, because
100%.
you haven't been able to do it in a way that feels good to you. And then, until you do that and
Yeah.
realize that you have shortcomings, which, like, we all have
We
shortcomings, we
all
all have things to
do. We
learn,
all
right? Like,
do.
that's what it
Why we
is.
need our teams, right?
Exactly. Like, until you do that, like, you don't have enough evidence to back that up. And so where's that coming from? Like, dig deeper and figure out
I
where
love
that's
that
coming
so
from.
much. I love that so much. And that's going to bring us back to the values conversation. But it's kind of like, I agree. I think this is one of the things, like, when you talk about, like, I think I've sort of built this like infamy around like team building, right? And
Mhm.
because I'm completely out of my agency, I haven't seen a client in a year and a half. I run 100% virtual contractor team, 99% team retention, and like over 10 years. And it's like, but it's like one thing I tell women all the time. And I feel like a lot of women have a lot of ego around this. And I think you and I agree, we're both on the same page. But it's like, you don't have to be good at everything. You just like build your team around you. Like, this is what I love what you said about your marketing. Because I'm 100% like, marketing is so much fun when you're doing it your way. Right.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, like, this is my biggest pet peeve about personal development, professional development. Cause I don't know about you, but I've spent like for sure over 100 grand, like for sure, coaches, consultants, cohorts, like, guaranteed 100 grand at
Yeah.
least.
Easily.
Easily
Yeah.
100 grand over. Yeah. Easily 100 grand. And I'm like, most of the content, I have not implemented it because it is not me at all, at
Mm.
all. And I remember there was like this course and it was like, I don't know, like 30K or something. And it was by this huge high ticket someone, right? And I remember they were like this and all this win and all this and all the thing and all the hype. And like unit one was like all about like Facebook organic social. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, I am not a sit on social media and shoot the shit kind of person. Like, I'm just not like that at all. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But they're like, this is the way, this is the way, this is the way, this is the way. And I'm like, and I like literally I didn't even do the program. I'm like, I just can't. Like, I can't drink this Kool-Aid. And I remember someone told me, they're like, that's so brave that you walked away. And I'm like, I knew I couldn't do it. Like, I know that that's not my style, that's not my vibe. And so to your point, like, women, I think we're allowed to give ourselves permission to do it our own way. And like, the way that I do marketing is very different than how you do marketing, but like, we're different people and we can show up very differently and that's what makes it so beautiful. Like, I don't know about you, like, people sometimes ask me, they're like, how do I show up different? How do I show up distinctive? I'm like, be your fucking self. Cause like, there's no one like you. So in like however many people in this world, like 6-7 billion people, you're it. You're the only
Yep.
one. Like,
Yep.
you as you is fundamentally unique, right?
Yep.
So anyway, I'm kind of on a tirade, but it's like,
No, but I think if I can, like, just pick on
yeah,
one piece of that, which is, I think that what it's be yourself, but you have to know who you are.
yeah,
And like, don't I think that here's another fear that people have is like, actually taking off the mask and actually
mhm,
sharing the parts of themselves that are like not so pretty. And
yeah,
that's, I think, something that you and I both do, right? Like,
shadow.
we are just very much like, this is who I am, and like, I'm
Yeah,
going through a hard time, or like, I
this is
went
it.
through some shit, and like, this is not pretty. Like,
Yeah.
my fertility story is like, I think, a
Mm,
really good example of like, it's not like tied up with a neat bow. Like,
no,
I didn't have the happy ending. Like,
no.
that story's over without a happy ending, and like, people cannot handle that.
Yeah.
And I have gotten like some people who are like, I can't believe you're talking about this. And I'm like, why would
Mm,
I not talk about this? Like, this is who I am. And like,
yeah,
that's how you build, people ask me all the time, like, how do I build a personal brand? I'm like, just, you need to get in touch with who you are.
yeah,
You need to get in touch with the stories that only you have. Like, you have stories that have shaped who you are.
yeah.
And you need to take some time to like really,
Mhm.
get in touch with them, because that's what's going to help you stand out.
Totally. Yeah, like owning that shadow side, I think, yeah, you and I both really do that, like very like unapologetically. Because it's like I always feel, I don't know about you, but I always feel like everyone has like I like to see the shadow side. And I don't even like the word shadow because it implies like dark. And I don't think it's dark. I just think it's just part of the story, right? But it's like we
Mhm.
have this part that we might not want to talk about. But I feel like as women, us sharing our journey, like the highs and the lows, it opens the conversation for more women to show up and share that story, right? And I just feel like, because I'm the same, like I'll write about breast cancer, and like we wrote that post about your brother, and like we talk about these really like taboo loaded subjects, right? Like cancer, and like I have a special needs daughter, and divorce, and like, and you talk about mental health, and you talk about fertility, and you talk about your brother, and all these like really loaded taboo subjects, right? But I feel like that just paves the way for other women to be braver. And I
Yeah.
think as we all do that, what the holy shit? Like, I just excites me to think like women using their voices, shinier, brighter, like lighter. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much healing there. Like,
Mhm.
I know for me, I don't know about you, but and then we'll get back onto the subject. I just love talking to you about this, but it's like, I know whenever I write about breast cancer, something about having had breast cancer, I post a picture of me with no hair, like going through chemo, or like people message me, DM me, and they're like, oh my God, thank you. I haven't been able to say anything. Like, I wanted to share, but I can't. Like, people telling me, like, I changed my profile picture to like short hair compared to long hair after chemo, after I talked to you. And I was like, yes, yes. Like, this
Yeah.
is that's the whole point of like, impressions, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. It's like, yeah, like our story, our experiences, our showing up and taking up space gives permission for other women to do the same thing. And
Absolutely.
and it's just like our courage, like, and think you feed off each other, right? Because I see you do something brave and it makes me braver the next time I post content. And then, and then I see someone else do something brave and I'm like, yes, I can be braver too. And we just like all of us just raise the like all what's the word? What's the expression? The tides. Like the
Oh,
raising
the
tide with all
rising
the
tides lift all boats.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a good question. But I think it's just so, because that's why I love when I watch you promoting a cohort, and I'm like, and I want you to talk about that, whatever you have coming up at the end. But it's like, oh my God, the more brave women who were like showing up authentic, showing up, living aligned to their values, like it just makes everywhere safer and
Yeah.
brighter. And I don't know. I love it. I just love what you do. So what do you think it means to grow a business that's total like that aligned to your values?
I mean, I think that really at its core, it's about building something that you feel deeply proud of, right?
Mhm.
Like, because I think that there are a lot of businesses out there that, and we're all familiar,
Mhm.
right, with like the big empires that exist that like they're just to make money, right? And like there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Like well, there might be, but like there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. Like
No.
we all want to make as much money as possible, but I think that when you are building a business that is really coming from your values and is driven by deep purpose and the impact that you can make, and like that you can help people because you have unique gifts that no one else has, like, and you're able to help people in this particular way.
Mhm.
I think that it just creates this beautiful sense of pride, and it helps you like ride those waves, right? Because
Yeah.
business is up and down. Like it's not smooth sailing there, and
Mhm.
that's part of the scary part of entrepreneurship. Like it's not smooth sailing. You will have hard times in your business, like guaranteed.
Yeah.
You
Guaranteed.
will. And I don't wish that on anyone, but like you will have those times. Um and that's going to look different for different people, obviously. Like,
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
doesn't look the same for everyone, but whatever it might be, like when you hit those hard times, when you're able to like take a step back and say like, "Oh, but like this is why I'm doing this. Like I
Yeah.
know why I'm doing this, and like it's worth it." Kind of what you were saying, where like you post and like there's no the impressions don't matter. Like it's when it's those messages that you get, and that's really the case I think in business too. Like you're going to have seasons where, you know, you're not bringing in as many clients, you're not bringing in as much business, and that
Yeah.
like that's going to happen. But the ones that you are helping, like, and who tell you like you use your particular gifts to help me in this way,
Yeah.
I just think it helps you ride those waves, and it keeps
100%.
you going for the long haul.
100%. Yeah. It's mostly hard. Right. And it's like, I don't know, it seems very masochistic to do that, but it's like, yeah, it's exactly, it's like you have to know why you're doing what you're doing. And in terms of values, like I'll just say this and then we'll go to our last question, but it's like, I always imagine my mom like over my shoulder. I don't know about you. Like I come from like a very religious background and like I always imagine like, okay, like or like, okay, what is this going to come if there's anything that's going to come back later and like bite me in the ass or like embarrass my kids or like if there's anything like to try to live with that level of integrity that's going to like make your mom happy, not that you're living for make your mom happy, but like you're living aligned into like a certain standard, right? And I agree, like it can be so tempting as a entrepreneur to like cut those corners and like to kind of like move outside of what we know is right for us. And I'm not saying anything illegal, obviously nothing like that, but it's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, go for it, you know, break the law. But it's like ultimately it's just I always find that anytime I move outside of what I know what my values are, it's just there's like emotional pain there. And it like and it's just after a while you just become so uncomfortable with the consequences of you doing that that like you just won't. Like you'll see that client who shows up with $20,000 to spend and you're like, I'm gonna pass. Like,
Yep.
I'm gonna pass. Like I remember we got
I
this. Yeah, go for it.
I had I think it was in my first year of business, I had someone, maybe it was my second year of business. I don't even, the years are blurring at this point, but fairly early on, I had a client who I took on during a period of time that, you know, was a really tough time in my business. And
Mhm.
I wasn't sure if I was going to keep going. And that's probably around when you and I met. And
Yeah.
I took on this client. I totally went against my values. Like I
Mhm.
totally just, because you're going to sometimes like like I don't want it to sound like I
Mhm.
always choose that
Mhm.
path. Like sometimes you choose the path that's like going to pay your bills, right? And
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
and I very much had that feeling in the pit of my stomach where I'm like, this is wrong, this is not going to be right,
Mhm.
I know this isn't going to be right. And I took it on anyway.
Mhm.
And I wound up, I did the work and I presented it to the client, and all of my worries were correct.
Mm.
And I wound up giving them their money back. Or not
Yeah.
all of it, but I gave like most of their money back because
Yeah.
I was just like, this is not right. Like I don't even want to fix this because
Yeah.
this is just not, it's not aligned. Like this is not going in line with my values. And I think that like
Mhm.
when we make decisions in our business or in our lives or whatever that like go against what we hold to be like really, it's that I always say like it's in like the pit of your stomach, like
Yeah.
you feel it, you know. And like
Yeah.
it's that inner knowing that I actually really do think that like women have more than
Yeah.
men. Like we just have this like innate
I
inner
agree.
knowing. And when we ignore it, like it's not going to lead anywhere good. And like
Yeah.
you're going to feel that too.
Yeah. It's like that trusting yourself. It's like I think that's the thing that I've learned now, like after 20 plus years as an entrepreneur, is like it's not worth it to like
Yeah.
trust yourself. Like that's the hardest thing. And I feel like I'm like starting to get like all like emotional now, but it's like that trusting yourself where like I don't know, we had like a really slow Q1 this year, like 2026. We had a really slow Q1. And we had this like old client come back and be like, hey, I want to build a second website. Like, and it could have been like a 5-figure project. And I'm like, and my ops manager was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, and I was like, she's a nightmare to work with. I'm like, no, no, no. She's like, but it's like this much money. I'm like, no,
Not worth it.
not worth it. Like I would rather go bankrupt than like deal with that shit. Like it's just like or like be so misaligned. Do you know what I mean? Like changing who I am and fighting her with pricing and all this stuff. And I was like, But I think that trusting yourself is like the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur, because then you have to trust, I'm saying no to this because like something better is coming, and like holding that space to have that faith. I mean, that's a totally different conversation, but it's like the whole game is faith. The whole game is like, and I'm not talking about religious faith. I'm talking about like faith in being supported towards
Yeah.
your vision, and
Yeah.
knowing that your values, you can build a successful business living aligned to your values. And I love that. And anyway, so Rachel, I know you've got another call to be on. So like, where can people find you? Like, tell us about you, what you got coming up, and how people can be connected with you.
Yeah, thank you. So my website is honeybebold.com, HONEYBEBOLD. Sometimes people add an extra E, but it's an imperative, be
Yes.
bold.
Do that.
Um, so that's my website. You can find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram. I actually am like more active on Instagram these days than LinkedIn. I'm just finding
Nice.
it more fun at the moment. And like, that's a big part of like what I like, do the thing that feels fun, because you're not going to keep it up if it doesn't feel fun. So
100%.
that's kind of the main ways to find me. I have a podcast of my own. Natasha was actually on my podcast.
Yes, I was.
And you should like link to the episode because it was so good.
I will.
I would just have to give this like little quip, because I invited Natasha on my podcast. I think it was the first season of my podcast. It's called Bold Women in Business, and I'm now in my 4th season, so it's been a while. But I had this whole like, this whole topic planned, and Natasha comes on and says like, so I was diagnosed with breast cancer 2 weeks ago. And I was like, do you want to talk about it? Like, let's talk about it. And we did. We just like talked about it live. Like, she's like live processing. It was so powerful. And
Oh my gosh.
it's really like kind of what we're talking about here. Like just
Totally.
leaning in and being yourself. And it was
Yeah.
so powerful. So
I think you were my first business friend I talked to about it. And I was just
yeah.
like, I was like, oh my God. Like, yeah, I think it was even like less than 2 weeks. It was something like
Maybe it
really
was,
close.
yeah.
I'd like just gotten diagnosed, but yeah. So tell us about your cohort, and then, so what's coming up?
Yeah.
What's that about? Who's that a good fit for?
Yeah, so I am currently running a cohort. So this one is closed, but I'll be running another one in October. It's called the Bold Content Collective. It's a 6-week cohort where it's part, there is a curriculum, but it's also part coaching and co-creation and just building up your content strategy and brand strategy and like all the foundational pieces that then give you a plan that you can actually keep up. And the whole point of it is like everything we're talking about here, like building it to
Nice.
who you are at your core, and like what feels good to you and what you're actually going to be able to keep up, because like
Oh my God.
that's going to be different for every person. So I'm going to be running one in October will be the next one. So you can just find it at honeybebold.com/BCC. And it's really perfect for female founders who've been struggling with their content, who've been struggling to really define like the magic that they offer, which is something I see a lot, is just like even putting words to that and defining all those pieces. So yeah, super, super helpful for the people who've gone through it so far. And I would love to have some of your listeners in the next.
I love it. Oh my God. Yes, exactly. So if you are not connected with Rachel, you are missing out. Your life is not complete. So head over to Instagram or LinkedIn and connect with Rachel there. Rachel, thank you so much. You are an inspiration to me. You are such a bright, shiny light, and you make my life so much better. And just thank you so much for being on the call today.
Thank you. I feel the same about you.